Ravens Rundown set to begin in just a few moments from right now. Before we do, want to make sure that you are a subscriber to the Ravens Rundown. As we count you down to kickoff, we're going to be covering training camp like no one else will around here, and we are on track to get to 7,000 subscribers before football season. We need your help to get there. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel now. Turn on those notifications as well, so you never miss a moment of what we're doing here at Ravens Rundown. YouTube.com/RavensTV to subscribe now. That's YouTube.com/RavensTV. Welcome into Ravens Rundown, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. Today's show is sponsored by Mint Mobile. Plans starting at just $15 a month on America's largest 5G network. You can start saving today at mintmobile.com/chatsports. We'll tell you more about what they do coming up later on in the show. Today, with training camp getting underway officially, first practice tomorrow, and the players and coaches arriving today, I have some predictions to hand out for the Baltimore Ravens as we get through training camp. So let's go ahead and run through these one by one. First off, I think Lamar Jackson will get a new contract. Now, I understand the situation that Lamar is in. He is representing himself, essentially, right? With his mom as his agent and kind of betting on himself right now. But with every passing day with Lamar Jackson, that price tag is going up for him at this point in time. Let's go ahead and look at the situation as things stand right now for Lamar. He's guaranteed $23 million in 2022. That is the final year of his rookie contract, that fifth-year option that Lamar Jackson is receiving this year. And he could play the long game if he wants to. That would mean a franchise tag next year at $33 million, and then in 2024, the franchise tag could be around $40 million. To give you an idea of the money out there for Lamar Jackson potentially, Kyler Murray, who Lamar Jackson is clearly better than. He's better than Deshaun Watson, too. Those guys got paid a lot of money recently. Kyler Murray just got a 5-year, $230.5 million contract. So with all that being said, I think the Ravens push for a deal to get done because they know it's going to cost them more the longer that this drags on. And Lamar could still potentially be leaving money on the table, the money that he could be getting, as opposed to what the franchise tag will be for these upcoming 2 years. So I think that all sides will come together and we'll see a deal get done before the season begins. Won't be a distraction. They'll all come together and come to terms, find a way to reach a middle ground and get this. We know Lamar wants to be in Baltimore. We know the Ravens want Lamar Jackson. I think they'll find a way to get through these negotiations and possibly get something done before the season begins. How about you guys? Our pinned comment today, you're about to get an ad break, take advantage of it. While the ad's playing, answer this true-false question for me. Lamar Jackson will get extended before the season begins. If that is true, type T for true. If that is a lie, type F for false. Let me know in the comments section. T for true, F for false. Next up, Tylan Wallace. If you've been listening to this show for any length of time, then you know that I am very high on Tylan Wallace. And I think that he will emerge as a top 3 wide receiver for this Ravens team, that he is going to have a really good training camp and step up. And Wallace, he's got great potential. We've seen over the years what he did in college at Oklahoma State. He was nothing short of spectacular there. And you go back to his resume, I would like to think of him, because we didn't see him a whole lot in 2021, almost like you would a rookie, right? And look at what he did in college. 2-time All-American. Coming out, the scouting report on him, according to Lance Zierlein of NFL.com, competitive nature, plays bigger than his size. He's 5'11", too. So if he's playing bigger than his size, that says something. And the comparison was Nate Washington. And Nate Washington, former Steelers receiver, played for the Tennessee Titans. If you're the Baltimore Ravens, you're trying to establish a number 2 or number 3 receiver, if you're telling me I can get Nate Washington out of Tylan Wallace, that's all I'm asking for to be a number 2 or number 3 receiver. That's more than enough if you're getting a Nate Washington-like player. The college numbers speak for themselves. What he did at OSU, 2018, that All-American first-team season, 1,491 yards, 13 touchdowns. 2019, 900 yards, 8 touchdowns. 2020, 922 yards and 6 touchdowns. He is really good. And when you look at this Ravens depth chart, Rashad Bateman's that number 1 guy. But beyond that, it's anyone's guess. It is a wide-open contest, and there's an opportunity for potentially for Tylan Wallace to jump all the way up to that number 2 receiver potentially. I think that he at least gets into that top 3 when it's all said and done. Today's show is sponsored by Mint Mobile, and Mint Mobile is offering unlimited talk and texting high-speed data on America's largest 5G network with mobile hotspots and plans starting at just $15 a month. And you can start saving now. Times are tough right now. Look, we are trying to save every single dollar we can right now. So why not save on your phone? MintMobile.com/chatsports. Sign up now so you can start saving and still be on the fastest 5G network in America. MintMobile.com/chatsports for more. So even though I have Tylan Wallace emerging as a top 3 receiver, I still think the Ravens will sign a receiver. And that's because I think that the Ravens would be looking at adding a wide receiver essentially as a safety net of sorts. Now, I know Julio Jones is off the market now. He's headed to Tampa Bay to join Tom Brady. But there's still some good veteran receivers out there in free agency right now that I don't think would cost you a whole lot, including Odell Beckham, who we don't know when necessarily he's going to be available, but he was really good for the Rams in their Super Bowl run last year. Will Fuller's available, Emmanuel Sanders, Cole Beasley, all of those guys could have an impact on this Ravens offense if they were given the opportunity to join this team. And at this rate, I don't see any risk in adding any of those guys there. I would be open to any of them. Odell would be my first choice at this point, but quite frankly, any weapon that you can help Lamar Jackson with, and you made some cap space this week, you opened up some things with the restructuring of Marlon Humphrey, I think there's a good chance that we see a free agent wide receiver because of how good the market is with these guys still out there. The Ravens would be silly not to at least give one of these guys a shot to try to strengthen that wide receiving core to help out Lamar Jackson there. What do you guys think? Your turn to be the GM. Should the Ravens add a free agent wide receiver? One of those names that we saw there, maybe somebody else. Is there someone that stands out to you? Let me know if the Ravens should make a move and add a free agent wide receiver. If so, type Y for yes. If not, type in for no. Let me know in the comment section. Y for yes, in for no, if the Ravens should add a free agent wide receiver. And if they add a free agent wide receiver, you're going to be the first to know about it here on Ravens Rundown as we're covering all the latest Baltimore Ravens news, rumors, trades, free agency, and more. And make sure that you turn on those notifications and join the Noti Gang so you're first to know when anything happens with this Baltimore Ravens team. We told you on the last show we'd shout out the Noti Gang, and you guys are awesome. Drake, Jeremiah, Jeffy, Andrew, Jabari, Cody, Day, Dan, Josh, Brandon. We appreciate all you guys for being a part of what we're doing each and every day here on the Ravens Rundown and turning on those notifications. And you guys are the absolute best. We would not do this show without you. So thank you. Subscribe now and join that Noti Gang. YouTube.com/RavensTV. Next prediction, our 4th out of 5 today. Charlie Kolar will emerge. I'm very high on Kolar. Now, granted, he's a little dinged up right now, but don't worry. I'm pretty excited about what he brings to the table and his potential for this Ravens team. Look, I mean, what he did at Iowa State, he was great. He was a 3-time first-team All-Big 12 member going back to 2019 all the way to 2021. And he won the academic Heisman. So, I mean, that means he's got high football IQ. And one of the things I've been telling you for a while is that he kind of reminds me of Mark Andrews. And an unknown AFC personnel executive told NFL.com recently that he might end up being another Mark Andrews. So you already have Mark Andrews on your team, why not have a carbon copy? I mean, he was great his time at Iowa State. You look back at last year, 756 yards, 6 touchdown grabs. 2020, he was solid, 7 touchdowns. 2019, 7 touchdowns as well. This is going to be a nice tool in the arsenal. And the tight end room for the Baltimore Ravens is the best in football. Already with Mark Andrews and Nick Boyle, you add Kolar to the mix as well as Isaiah Likely, who you drafted from Coastal Carolina. I'm telling you, this is going to be a phenomenal group this year, and Charlie Kolar is going to be a very nice addition. And I think he's going to stand out when we see him healthy, when he gets out there at training camp. Watch out. He's going to be something else. I'm very excited to see what Charlie Kolar can do for this Ravens offense. So he's a breakout player for me. How about you guys? Name a breakout player for the Ravens this year. Who is going to stand out that maybe we haven't talked about? Who is going to emerge? Let me know in the comments section. One player that's going to break out for the Ravens in 2022. Last on my training camp predictions. This one very, very important. The Ravens will end camp healthy. Healthy is not a word that we've used a whole lot to describe the Baltimore Ravens over this last year or so. They have seen everything when it comes to injuries, a lot of bad luck. But I'm telling you, it will get better. Eventually, it will get better. And to kind of recap, here is where the injuries stand right now for this Ravens team. Some notable Ravens injuries. We told you about Charlie Kolar, but you have Ronnie Stanley. With the ankle injury, he could be back week 1. J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards starting out on the PUP list. Both of them expect to be back when the season begins. David Ojabo, who was the last player when it comes to his rookie contract, still not signed at this point. Last player in the entire draft, dealing with an Achilles. We know with Ojabo that this year could be a redshirt year of sorts. They knew that going in when they drafted him, so that's okay. And you brought in Justin Houston for a reason. Bowser, Marcus Peters, these guys, it'll all be okay. I'm telling you, I know that it already feels kind of rough looking at these injuries right now, but things will turn out better. The roster that the Ravens will begin the 2022 season when they open up week 1 will be much healthier than what we see right now. I feel pretty good about that you give these guys time, you give them time to adapt and just rest a bit and rehab properly. Everything is going to be okay. Is it going to be perfect? No. But I do think that everything will be better than things look right now. So to recap before we go, one more look at my predictions for the Ravens when it comes to training camp. Lamar Jackson gets a new contract. Tylan Wallace will emerge as a top 3 receiver. The Ravens will sign a wide receiver. Charlie Kolar will emerge, and we'll see the Ravens in camp healthy, which might be the best of all of those when it comes to these training camp predictions, quite frankly. Although Lamar Jackson, new contract would be nice too. If you made it to the end of today's video, you're a real one. We thank you for joining us. Type flock in the comments section. Show who you are, and we'll see you next time here on Ravens Rundown.